Hey guys, what's going on? Thank you so much for checking in today. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things as far as posting for you guys more consistently. And I just want to say thank you to all my new subscribers and to all of you who have been commenting and liking the videos. I so appreciate it more than you know. So I wanted to share with you guys a new segment on my channel. It's basically just something I've been interested in for a long time, and I hope you guys will enjoy it too. So whenever I hear new artists and I start to see them more and more, like whether it's through music or their numbers are growing or they're starting to get on bigger and bigger platforms, I'm like always really curious to find out like how they get on basically, like how did they come up? So that's what I'm gonna call this, the come up. And the first artist I'm gonna be covering is the beautiful and super talented Jorja Smith. So Jorja Smith was born on June 11, 1997 in Walsall, which is the West Midlands in the UK. She's mixed. Her father is Jamaican and her mother's English. Her father was a benefits officer, but before getting into that, he was actually a musician. He was in a neo-soul group called Second Nature. And her mother was a jewelry designer. So Jorja speaks a lot in interviews about there was a lot of music playing in her house since she was a little kid, and she always remembers hearing music. When she was 8, her father kind of encouraged her to start taking piano lessons. So the music was having a big influence on her from a very early age. Both her mother and father realized that she could sing when she was still very young. So she said when she was 8, she had to sing in front of a church for everyone, and her mom used to make her sing and tell people she could sing. She hated it because she was so embarrassed. And I think it's funny, as kids, a lot of us that have talent or our parents see something in us and then they want us to kind of show it off. You're always like, please leave me alone. So I think it's pretty funny because as things will play out, that ended up being the career path that she took. So when she got a little bit older, she actually earned a music scholarship to a school called the Audra School, and she'd been studying classical singing for a really long time there too. She said there were all types of music playing in her house, a lot of different music, reggae, funk, soul, Nina Simone, Amy Winehouse, just a lot of different things. She actually ended up writing her first song when she was 11. Something that I found out about her that I thought was really interesting was she said that when she was growing up, she dealt with a lot of different insecurities. She says there were times when she felt really unattractive and she was different. She went to school with a lot of white girls, and her being mixed race is kind of that struggle. Like, I don't look like everybody. I thought it was really dope of her to share this because she's so beautiful. She's gorgeous. And sharing that, it's like, it just lets you know that even people that we all imagine have all of this confidence and we see with our own eyes that they're beautiful, even they go through moments of insecurity. But you gotta kind of fight through it. I want to share this clip with you guys because I thought it was awesome of her to share this, because so many people just in general go through this, but especially women and young girls go through these things. So we need to see people who've actually overcome this and become very successful talk about it, because it kind of lets us know, oh, okay, that's normal. Wow, she did it, and then I can do it too. So yeah, I just want to see this little clip with you guys.
Do you know, before, like, growing up at school, it's only now that I'm actually like, I like how I look. Before, like from about, to be honest, like secondary school, all my friends were like white, and like I was the only black girl. Like there were like 3 black girls, 1 black girl, 2 mixed race, 3 mixed race girls in my year, and like all my friends are skinny. They didn't have lips or bum. I wanted to be skinny. Like I ran so hard and didn't eat that much sometimes because I wanted to fit in. Yeah. But now I finally realise, you are you for a reason. Like, you look like you because you do. You can't look like anyone else. One thing I taught myself when my friend said to me when we were like 16, and she was like, oh my God, her hair's so nice. I want to have something like that. She has something like that. And I was like, look here, don't compare yourself to anyone else because you're not them. And I think that's one thing I'm glad I taught myself when I was younger, because it helped me like be a bit more confident with myself. But growing up, I wanted to change how I looked.
So I just love how she was able to kind of speak on that. I love how she said, don't compare yourself with anybody else. We all have flaws, but your flaws are what make you who you are, and that's fine, and you have to learn to be okay with that. And I just thought that was really big of her. You know, that's a vulnerable space to kind of put yourself in. So I really appreciated that about her. Moving on in her music career, music started to get more serious for her when she turned 15. I'm not sure if somebody got her a MacBook or she was able to get it, but she got her hands on a MacBook and she started to use the GarageBand program to record her own songs and covers. I think it was around this same time she started to upload cover videos, cover songs to YouTube, and it was actually on one of these, Alex Clare's Too Close. It's what caught the attention of the person who would end up going on to find her and become her manager. She talks a lot about some of her biggest influences being Amy Winehouse, Lauryn Hill, Alicia Keys, Adele, Mos Def. She said she was obsessed with Amy Winehouse's album, Frank. And as a teenager, she was inspired by Amy's raw approach to songwriting, which I don't know if you guys have seen that documentary on Amy Winehouse. It's great. Rest in peace to Amy Winehouse. Just such a huge talent that the world lost. So Jorja, when she turned 15, her manager ended up finding her off of her doing the covers on YouTube. So I really like that part of her story. Just, you know, from doing those covers, she just kind of got this next opportunity. So where she's from in the UK is actually a really, really small town. And it's just another example that you kind of have to put yourself out there and really believe in your dreams. She speaks a lot in her interviews that she wasn't really sure like she could ever have an opportunity to be in a position that she is now. So like I said, the place where she comes from is really small. London is like the big city in that area. So she started traveling to London to record and to work with this person. I think his name is Ed Thomas. He's her manager, he was her manager, and she was going back and forth to London to work on creating her music. After she finished high school, her parents gave her permission to really go and pursue her dreams of doing music and making music for a living. So she had some family in London. I think it was her aunt and uncle, and she asked them if she could come out there and stay with them. So that's what she did. At the same time, she was working at Starbucks. You know, you got to do what you got to do to be able to provide for yourself and fund the dream. It's funny, she said that she was horrible at making coffee, but I think it's just cool to see that these are some of the sacrifices you have to make when you're chasing your dreams. So after being in London for a little while, working with Ed Thomas and creating this music, she put out in January 2016 her first song, which was called Blue Lights. She put it on SoundCloud and she spoke about it in an interview one day. She was out with her friend and she put the song out and she basically went viral. First song that she put out. She was like, what's going on? Her phone was blowing up, and it's pretty crazy because that doesn't necessarily happen for everyone. And who knows why it happened that way for her, but it did. And it's also an example, too, sometimes you just never know what's going to happen until you actually show your work. But it got like more than 400,000 listens in that first month. And that's pretty exciting. She said she didn't even really know what was normal and what wasn't as far as like metrics and numbers go, because that was the first thing she had put out. So I think that's amazing, and that's an amazing accomplishment in itself. Great response that first song received. She just put out another song, and then she just kept on trying to be consistent with it. And then she started putting out videos, and then things really started taking off. She spoke about, like, as far as her artistry goes, she used to be really hard on herself, and sometimes she still is, but she said without that fire and drive that she had to want to be great, she wouldn't be who she is. She said now she pushes herself to do different photo shoots, which is, again, another example of overcoming some of those insecurities she may have had initially. She does videos or makes a song. So these things are all important if you want to be successful in no matter what it is, whether it's music, whether it's YouTube, whatever your dreams are, you got to be consistent. You got to push through those hard times. And I think that's an example of why she's been able to come so far in a pretty short amount of time. I mean, on top of the fact that she's beautiful and she's got a great voice, she seems like she's a really genuine person. She also seems like she takes her craft serious, and it shows in her success. She talked about sometimes in the beginning, I'm not sure, probably till this day, when she might mess up in a show, she would feel horrible about it. She would beat herself up. She used to cry, she said, when she did things wrong. She would get like so upset. But she said she's starting to realize as getting older, and the more you do it, you got to keep a balance between being hard on yourself and knowing when enough is enough. And looking at how far she's come to this point now, she's learning more to kind of be proud of the accomplishments. It's just crazy. All of these things kind of happened really quick. 2016 is when she dropped her first song, and her debut album has now come out. It's called Lost and Found. She actually was nominated for a Grammy, and in February she brought home the Brit for Best Female Solo Artist. So she's got a really, really bright future. Things are happening really quick for her. I think it speaks volumes to her talent, but also her work ethic and how serious she takes it. I love her story, just, coming from a small town and being able to put herself in a great position. It says a lot about how much she believed in herself, and it's also a reminder for all of us that anything we want to do, we really can make it happen. We just got to believe and then put the work in behind the belief, and anything is really possible. If there's anything you can take out of Jorja's come up, I hope that it's that. Yeah, so she's got a bright future, and I can't wait to see how the rest of her career plays out. Let me know what you think about Jorja and her come up. Thanks for tuning in today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.